Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the December 8, 2025 meeting of the Metuchen Borough Council. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Said notice was published in the Home News Tribune on December 18, 2024, posted in Borough Hall and on file in the clerk's office. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied, and in view of the fact that this is going to be Council Member Dorothy Johnboy's last council meeting, we would like to bestow the honor upon Councilmember Johnboy with leading us all in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Here.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please. Ms. Supan.
Councilmember Branch.
I'm here.
Councilmember Jamboy.
Here now.
Councilmember Hyman.
Here.
Councilmember Jethwani.
Here.
Councilmember Candel.
Here.
Council President Delia.
Here.
Mayor Bush.
Here. Okay, so we're about to get right into Councilmember Johnboy's tribute. But before we do that, we have some of our first responders here from Metuchen EMS who are going to be giving a report. So I don't know who's doing that today, but if you could just give your name and association at the microphone, please. And after this report, we'll move on. Go ahead. Yes.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and members of the Council. My name is Mancha Sayal. My address is 4 Bass Court in Edison, which is only 50 yards away from Metuchen. I'm a junior at J.P. Stevens High School, and I'm 16 years old. I joined Metuchen EMS in August 2025 and passed the EMT exam in October. I've taken around 20 911 calls so far. I'm here tonight to present the final Metuchen EMS summary report for 2025. We have taken over 400 911 calls in the last 12 months. This is our busiest in at least 10 years and well above our normal call volume. We had 54 different members participate on calls so far, with an average of 30 participants each month. As usual, many of these calls were in Edison. Our turnover has been very low, so we are covering 7 nights each week and most weekends. Generally, our recruitment has been going well. We have added 12 new members so far this year, 8 new EMTs, and 4 EMTs have departed. Our new cadets, including me, are all settled in. Besides 911 calls, we also support community events. Since our last report, we have covered 5 football games, a concert, national night out, and a very hot street fair. We are very happy to see progress on the new Emergency Services Center, and while we like being at the fire department, we are looking forward to getting back to Safety Place. We would like to remind everyone watching or listening that we are a volunteer organization, and we do not charge for our service. If we take a patient to the hospital, it is free. However, we cannot do that without the generous support of Metuchen residents. Our annual fundraising letter has probably arrived by now, and we hope you will keep us funded for another year. If there are any questions, I will do my best to answer them. Thank you.
Anything from our council members?
Just to really want to send my appreciation to all of you and all of the volunteers that work so hard. As you mentioned, there's been a lot of activity, a lot of events, and I'm really excited, at least, to be able to say that we collectively support, all the work you do. We are really appreciative for everything that your entire team is involved in. So thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So this place is a little more filled than usual, which is a good thing tonight because we're looking to pay tribute to someone who has been incredibly special, not just to the borough now, but the borough for the future. And certainly in terms of historical consequence, this is somebody who has served now as the longest serving council member in the history of our borough, Dorothy Jamboy. We have some very special guests with us tonight. I want to recognize them. I think a couple of them may wish to say some remarks. We have Senator Patrick Dignan, Assemblyman Rob Karabinchak, and Assemblyman Sterling Stanley. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we have two of our former mayors here with us. We have our 35th mayor, Pete Camerano, and our 31st mayor, John Wiley. Thank you all for being here, and at this time I'd like to recognize Senator Patrick Dignan. Are you all coming up together? We have the 18th District Powerhouse all here tonight. I hope the legislature's not in session right now.
Dorothy, get down.
Okay.
The good thing is I'm finally learning how to pronounce her last name. We have a resolution from the state of New Jersey, which goes on forever because you have such a record to be proud of. But I'll read what I think to be the important part. The Senate and General Assembly of the state of New Jersey are pleased to salute the Honorable Dorothy Giamboy, correct? Yeah. A highly esteemed resident of Garden State upon the conclusion of her outstanding tenure as councilwoman for the borough of Metuchen. And then I'll go on and on and on. It sets forth all she's accomplished. But I'll call attention to what I think, and I know she would think to be the most important. She is the proud mother of Roman and James and wife of Alex. Dorothy Giamboy has exhibited an uncommon measure of public spiritedness, and in so doing has established a model worthy of emulation and a set of excellence towards which all others must strive. The success and prosperity of the state of New Jersey and the strength of our American society depend upon selfless individuals exemplified by Dorothy, who dedicate their time and energies to enhance the effectiveness of our communities and improve the quality of life for our friends and neighbors. And I just want to, when I was sitting here and Jonathan made the comment, there's certain names you hear and they put a frown on your face, like Donald Trump, but I won't mention that. When you hear Dorothy's name, it puts a smile on your face because no matter when I have ever run into her, look, there it is. You know she's going to come up and talk to you about something positive, something that the borough needs, something that she's working on, somebody that's in need. This is literally not only the embodiment of a good public service, but a good person. And Metuchen has been more than fortunate to have her serve for as long as she served on the council. You will be missed, but enjoy Rome, okay?
All right, so I had the opportunity to meet Dorothy in a different way when I was on the council in Edison, All I heard was Dorothy, 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 with all the trailways, this, the environmental stuff. I said, who is this person? Eventually, I met Dorothy. And from that point on, she was nothing but a powerhouse. If she put her mind to it, it didn't end until she got across that goal line and made it actually happen. And it's been nothing but an honor to work with you all of these years on all of the thoughts. The latest one was the Peter Barnes Preserve. That was one that was, I think, in my mind, the biggest one that we worked on together, that I'm so proud to be working with you, because you were that driving force.
But you're the one that got us the money.
I got you the money, but it was you that got me to get you the money. But this is about you, and I know you won't be sitting there, but that doesn't mean anything, because you'll still be out here. Yes. But it's been an honor to be working with you.
Thank you
So much, so much.
Likewise.
Yes. Literally.
Dorothy. So when I first met Dorothy, it was at a convention, one of the MCDO conventions, and we just started talking. I didn't even know who she was, and we just started talking, and then found out that she's from Brooklyn. And we found so many different connections, and then getting to know her more and more, got to know about her background, political, and what she does in Metuchen, and what she's done for Metuchen. It's amazing to hear about all your accomplishments, see everything that you're doing, but most of all, the friendship that we have developed,
Right.
right? So she's like a big sister to me. When I need someone to cry on, shoulder to cry on, she'd be like, hey, where are you? And she'll come running. And that's Dorothy. But that's not speaking just about me. She's like that with everybody. If someone needs something, she's there for them. And that's what, she's always embodied that within her political spectrum as well as her personal life and everything she's done. And that speaks volumes for who you are, what you are, and what you do. And also the fact that, the way you brought up your children, as a single mom, and then you met this ugly guy over there, and then somehow he convinced you to get together with him. I don't know how it happened, but it happened, And now you got a whole set of children, grandchildren.
More children,
Yeah.
grandchildren.
And the fact that she sees them as their own, that's the great part, And we all love you for this. Whatever the next chapter, the next road that you're traveling in, we can only wish the best for you. We can only wish nothing but joy and happiness. And, we'll always be here. We're going to miss you. But like you said,
I'm gonna miss you guys too,
yeah.
but
But knowing that she's from Brooklyn, she's going to haunt us. Okay?
you won't get rid of me.
Thank you to the three of you. You're always here for us, and we appreciate it. It's really important to mark occasions like these. We don't do this for every retiring council member, but this is a significant situation here. I have, and Congressman Pallone has been wrapped up with affairs, but we have a formal resolution that was presented on the House floor for the 119th Congress here, as you can see. I'm going to read it to you, and I certainly appreciate the staff bringing it to us. Mr. Speaker, it is my honor to recognize Dorothy Johnboy on her conclusion of service to the Borough of Metuchen Council. After 15 years, Dorothy stands as the longest-serving council member in Metuchen's history. Please join me in celebrating my longtime friend, Dorothy Johnboy, for her outstanding contributions to the community. Since 2011, Councilwoman Dorothy Johnboy has served on the Metuchen Borough Council, acting as the liaison to the Metuchen Chamber of Commerce, Development Commission, Municipal Alliance, Youth Services Board, and currently to the Shade Tree Commission, Environmental Commission, and Senior Citizen Commission. In addition to her leadership within the council, Dorothy has served on the Metuchen County Water Resources Association and is chairwoman of the Peter Barnes Wildlife Preserve Commission. Councilwoman Johnboy leaves a legacy of environmental advocacy and stewardship, including her contribution to the creation and adoption of a master plan of local ecology preservation for the largest undeveloped ecosystem in northern Middlesex County. This oversight will be instrumental in the continued restoration of the Woodbrook Superfund site and associated conservation efforts throughout the area. Dorothy played a pivotal role in securing grants from Sustainable Jersey and the National Park Service, including $25,000 to provide composters to residents. In 2015, Dorothy was named a Sustainable Hero by Sustainable Jersey. I'm confident that the 6th Congressional District of New Jersey will thank her for her efforts to keep Middlesex County's greater environment, safe, healthy, and thriving for years to come. And as she embarks on the new phase, Dorothy is joined by her 2 beloved sons, husband Alex Johnboy, 2 Shih Tzus, and grandchildren. Mr. Speaker, please join me on congratulating Dorothy Johnboy on her 15 years of service with the Borough of Metuchen. It's my privilege to recognize her remarkable contributions to our community and offer my best wishes for a restful and joyful new stage in life. I present this to you on behalf of Congressman Pallone and his staff.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to turn this over to any members of the council. I'll leave it to the council president to decide how this goes, but I figure a couple of you may have 1 or 2 things to say.
Well, I'll take some presidential privileges and go
Go
first,
for it,
if that's
go for
okay
it.
with everybody. So I thought I had this right, and I went back and checked, Dorothy.
Okay.
So I moved here in 2011, in March 2011, and you joined the council January 2011. That's correct. So I have not known a Metuchen without Dorothy up here on the dais leading the way. And that's going to be a big change for us coming next year. So as a resident, I would just like to thank you for all the time you put in. This is not an easy role. This is essentially a volunteer position. It can be very time consuming. It can be very frustrating. So just the amount of time that you've put in to this role and to this borough, it's just incredibly appreciated as someone that just lives here. So thank you for that. And I also want to thank you as your colleague. Over the last 7 years, we've worked together on many things. A lot of the time, things that related to your passions, environmental protection, shade trees, et cetera. And in that time, you taught me a number of things. And actually, Senator Digan was kind of alluding to it. One of the big ones was, how do you feel comfortable and confident working with our partners at the state level, across municipalities? That's something you do so well, and that's something that I definitely picked up from you in my time here. I specifically think back to early on when I worked with the senator for the safe passing law. I think that was the start of my second year. I would not have felt comfortable and confident just going up to the senator and bringing this to him, other than the fact that I've seen you do it so many other times. So thank you for that. Thank you for everything you've done for the town, for us, and I appreciate it.
Can I make a comment on your
Please.
comment? Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Okay. From when I was young, I never ever thought that anyone was better than me, meaning a celebrity person. I never admired, a singer or somebody that I would be, oh my God, I always thought of everyone as an equal to me in a good way. So I never had a problem approaching people because I always felt that they were people and that I could talk to them and that they were real people. And that's how you do it, That's how you do it.
Well, are there other council members who want to comment?
I'll take a shot.
Councilmember Candell.
Dorothy,
Are you the next most senior council member up here?
Senior is in like most tenure.
We're not talking about age here, sir. Go ahead.
Just so we're
Go ahead. Okay, we're clear.
Dorothy, I think I met you maybe about 15 years ago at a Home Street block party when I used to live on that street.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yes.
and thinking back to it, it's sort of emblematic of who you are. You didn't live on that street, but you made sure to come to the block party to meet people and socialize with people and hang out with people in a way that was just the way you are, very relaxed and centered around, having a party.
Yeah.
And that's sort of, who you are. You really enjoy people. And that comes through in everything you've done on council, off council, at parties, at events, and you always show up. And there's a lot to be said for that. So
Thank you. Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it.
May I?
very nice. Go
Someone
ahead,
more
Councilmember.
senior than I wants to go first. Dorothy was my running mate 3 years ago. It can be very trepidatious to sign up to do something like that. But you can imagine I felt like I was in very good hands with Dorothy leading the way. I never doubted for a second that I should just follow her lead. She knew what she was doing, and she taught me well. I was proud to run with her. I'm proud to serve with her and watch her do what she does. And she does it with so much grace and so much care for our town that she's an excellent role model. And I was really blessed to have you be my running mate. And I will miss you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Anyone else?
I'll just say, Dorothy, you really exemplify so much of what I think is critical, not only as a council member, but as a human being, just being present and volunteering your time selflessly. And I think that that is really commendable, and it's hard work. And I realize even if it comes easy to some of us, it's still hard work to be present and involved as much as you have been. So thank you for that.
Welcome. Welcome.
Okay.
Councilmember, you're up.
All the great remarks have been taken, but hey, look, I'll miss you, number one, sitting next to you and having fun with you. You set a high standard, for someone to serve in a volunteer position so with such length and exuberance and energy. You put your all into it. You should always surround yourself with people that you wonder, oh, can I ever be like them? Can I ever reach that mark? And I'm proud to be sitting next to someone who fits that bill. I love you and Alex, just a ray of sunshine. Sometimes this job does get challenging, but I think everybody knows when they're standing next to Dorothy, and sitting next to Dorothy, personally, my blood pressure goes down, because we can have just a great time, and she recenters and reminds us what this is all about. And that's just naturally who you are, and I really appreciate that.
I'm gonna have to.
I get to hug Dorothy.
I'm going to miss you guys.
Well, you're still going to be living here. I mean,
Right.
we can still hang out. We keep talking about this 15-year legacy, which is really extraordinary, especially in the history of our community, that no one has ever done this before. That alone is remarkable. But Dorothy's legacy is not measured in years. It's measured in the way she has used those years, with purpose, persistence, and a deep care and love for Metuchen. Dorothy's always approached public service with a deep commitment to helping residents navigate challenges and find solutions. Her steady presence, as many have mentioned, her attention to detail, her instinct for constituent service, especially for many of our senior members of our community, have shaped countless moments in Metuchen. Over the years, she's played an important role in guiding ordinances, policies, and long-term planning that have helped strengthen our borough and position it for the future. But above all else, Dorothy has been Metuchen's conscience for the environment. If this community is greener, more aware of its natural resources, and more protective of its trees, it's because Dorothy believed it should be. She championed our community forestry plan, helped secure grants for environmental improvements, organized Earth Day celebrations, supported pesticide-free initiatives, and led walkabouts with the Shade Tree Commission to care for newly planted trees, often literally with her own hands.
And having all of the parts of the trees in my car with bugs and everything.
With bugs and everything. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She also played a key role in shaping preservation strategies for the Peter J. Barnes III Wildlife Preserve, which we're going to see obviously develop into Metuchen's largest park by the end of the 2026 spring season. And Dorothy believed that every tree planted in this community was an investment in our future. And over these many years, she's planted not just trees, but obviously ideas, programs, and values that will outlast all of us. Dorothy, your impact on Metuchen is immeasurable. You've made this place stronger, greener, more thoughtful, more connected. And on behalf of the entire borough and on behalf of the borough administration, we all thank you for your service, your leadership, and your friendship. We'll miss your voice on this dais. There's always that microphone and that one right there if you're ever interested in continuing to contribute. Yes, or it's coming down to say hi. But your work's going to continue to shape this place for generations. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
we have a special, the tribute to Dorothy John Boy is not over. As they say, roll the tape.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This was my high school
There are
graduation ceremony.
places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
Thank you so much.
And as an extra special tribute, which was intended to be a surprise, but those things are hard with Dorothy, our borough, and it's hard to do it in the dark, although maybe when we leave, the council members and anybody else who want to join us, the administration, on behalf of the council members and I, have planted this tree in honor of your legacy of service right in front of Borough Hall. So that will always be there with a plaque that says, in honor of council member Dorothy John Boy, thank you for 15 years of dedicated service to the borough.
It's amazing.
And it's your favorite tree.
What's that, our borough administrator, you say it's her favorite tree. Why don't we describe that for people a little bit?
Dorothy, what's the name of your favorite tree?
October Glory.
Yeah.
Maple.
There you go.
And I'm sure that it's an appropriate planting space for the October Glory maple, right? So we're not going to have any complainers about the location of the tree, as we sometimes, from Dorothy, echoes those
I've heard them
concerns.
all.
Right, exactly. So at this time, to close things out, and before Dorothy wants to make some remarks to the community, and we could do that now, and then we want to present you with your plaque. So
Okay.
why don't you read your remarks
I
first?
want to stand there so I can be close to the people.
You want to be close to the
Deb
people?
and I, yeah.
All right, so
Deb
why
and
don't you grab the microphone, which Brandon doesn't usually like if we remove, but today's your night.
Well,
Tonight
no,
is
he
your night.
already gave us orders.
Okay, all right, so why don't you,
We have already gotten orders.
okay, well, you do what you need to do. So why don't you go to the front, and you can do this from wherever you feel like it's best. Okay.
Is it going to fit? Yeah, it's going to fit. All right. So first of all, thank you so much for this. And if I knew you were going to do this, I would have sent you my Mikey Cheryl photos with me. But, I didn't know you were doing this. So I would like to start out tonight expressing my gratitude to the people of Metuchen for the faith they have placed in me over the past 15 years. I have never thought that I would go the distance like this as your councilwoman. I must have been doing something right. From the beginning, I wanted to be accessible to our residents, so I committed to this notion that I had my personal cell number on my business cards that are provided by the borough so that people could reach me directly. I have always been a people person and was taught early by my parents to always help those in need. Some of my proudest moments were helping individual residents with problems that they needed assistance to solve. For example, during COVID, with the assistance of Senator Duignan's chief of staff, I was able to get professional licenses for people waiting for them that had jobs pending the issuance of those licenses. And if you remember, during that time, everything kind of came to a standstill. But we were able to get it done. Another example was when there was a mix-up with a resident's state insurance. Somehow the state created two profiles, two accounts, and she only got a card for one, so she only knew that existed. But when she went to go to the doctor after cancer surgery for her follow-up, she was rejected, and they would not see her until her insurance got straightened out. And also, that was another Senator Duignan win there, and we worked that out, and we got it straightened out so they could get their exam. And also, did you ever wonder how to become an elected official? Like, I was told that getting involved in your local political party and hope to become one of the committee members of your town. From there, if you're a good committee person, you may be asked to run for office, like Borough Council. But for me, it was a little different. I was actually at a wake in Metuchen when I was asked. Mayor Vahala was there, as were many other Metuchen residents paying their respects. He was sitting a few rows ahead of me, turned his head and says, "I want to talk to you." I said, "All right." So a few minutes later, we met in the lobby, and he asked me if I would consider running for council. He said that my name came up a few times as someone who would be a good candidate. Of course, I immediately corrected him, and I said, "You mean committee person?" And he's like, no, council person. So we went back and forth a bit, and then I decided I would embark on the journey. I met with the then chair of the Democratic Party, Jim Graziano, Vice Chair Beatrice Moskowitz, Council President Pete Camerano, and Mayor Vahala. We met at a local diner for coffee, and all I kept saying to myself was not to ask if I get any money, okay? Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to ask. They might think I want to do it because I'm going to get money. After that, I had to meet with that famous committee of people that choose candidates. I had to go before them to answer their questions and wait and see if they voted to put me forward as their choice. Along with me for the ride, and of course the top of the ticket, was Jim Wallace. He was a hometown boy, several generations steeped in Metuchen. He was a former postal worker, volunteer firefighter over 50 years, and a retired police officer. How could we lose? Believe me, he had everything it took to be successful. He knew every nook and cranny in Metuchen because of his previous work as a postman. Also, being a police officer in town and a firefighter, he knew so many people and was admired by all. We worked very hard on our campaign, knocked on so many doors, and raised money for all the materials we needed to get our message out to the people. In the end, we were successful and were sworn into office January of 2011. Jim and I served 2 terms together before he became ill and was unable to continue to a 3rd term. Luckily for me, there was another shining star glowing in downtown Metuchen in a business called Marafiki. Linda Koskoski was co-owner of that delightful business that sold fair trade items. It was a very popular place, not only to shop, but to drop in on a Friday and maybe get a glass of wine while you shop. They offered many different events in the evening, and it brought so many people together. Linda was the catalyst for allowing tables outside of stores. Linda and her business partner would like to sit outside and have their lunch, and otherwise they would have to stay all day in their store. So they put out a table and 2 chairs to sit out and have their lunch, and they were told by the zoning officer that that was not permitted. Linda contacted me, of course, because she had my personal cell phone number on my business card and said she needed help. I immediately went into action discussing the situation with my fellow council members and the mayor, and we put an ordinance together to allow businesses to have tables outside. And trust me, that was the quickest ordinance I ever saw happen in my life. It was shortly thereafter that Linda was asked to be my running mate for my third election. We served 2 terms together before she stepped off and went on to bigger and better things. My last running mate is our current councilwoman, Lisa Hyman. She is also a homegrown Metuchenite like Jim Wallace, and I felt that would be an asset to our campaign. And we went on to win that election. As you know, she has been absolutely brilliant as a council person, and she just won her second term with newcomer Meg Loftus-Suchan. Through my 5 terms, I have served with 4 mayors, Valhalla, Camerano, Grazel, and Bush. 4 police chiefs, Keene, Irizarry, Rentenberg, Flaherty. 4 administrators, Borth, Mayor, Muldoon, and Pearlstein. And 3 clerks, Katie, Susan, and Deborah. I have also served with the countless volunteers on our boards and commissions. They are the unsung heroes of Metuchen. It is because of them that our borough is so successful. They make us look good because they carry out the ideas of their council liaisons through the work they do on their commissions. Also, during my 5 terms, I've had 4 couples serving on my commissions, which was very interesting, and it was so great to see people together going out to volunteer and just have things in common. It was great. And I also have several commission members that are serving for over 20 years, and I'm even thinking maybe over 25 years on the Environmental Commission. And I've also had a few senior commission members that served over 30 years. I have been, liaison to the Development Commission, and I think everybody said all this other stuff that I have been, so I'm going to skip all that stuff. So like me, other council members have come out of their commissions. One was Todd Pagel, a former Shade Tree member, and our current councilman, Tyler Kendall from the Development Commission, and I think I may have snagged you to join when I was at your block party. I'm thinking maybe. I think so. So anyway, so I also would like to recognize those I served with over the 5 terms who I have not already mentioned. Sherry Rose Rubin, Jay Muldoon, Dan Hirsch, Reed Liebfried, Justin Manley, and Stanley Lease Jr. I am proud of all the accomplishments I have been able to achieve over the last 15 years. And I'm just going to mention a few because you all have mentioned others. One of the things I was really proud of was the 18th District, when Pat Duggan was still an assemblyman and Pete Barnes was our senator. We passed legislation restricting the sale of dextromethorphan to persons under the age of 18, since this was a common drug abused by minors because they were able to buy it. It wasn't a classified drug, but they still got a high, and it was very dangerous. And I testified before the Health and Human Services Committee to bring parents' concerns to them. We also spearheaded on the Development Commission landscaping improvements at the train station, and we were funded by the Metuchen Parking Authority. Also, during my first year, my first budget, I saved the taxpayers over $10,000 during capital budget negotiations by suggesting a compromise in requested equipment. And also, we achieved the Borough Sustainable Jersey Bronze Level certification 6 times. And I'm going to put the challenge out. Going forward, you guys have to get silver. That's all I'm going to say. All right? You've got to work on it. Also, this was really a great one. Collaborated with former business administrator Jennifer Mayer to submit the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority grant, which resulted in the award of over $9 million for Main Street safety improvements. So that was a good one. The borough would not run as well as it does without the great team of staff, beginning with Melissa Pearlstein, our borough administrator, Becky Cuthbert, our CFO, and Deb Zupan, our clerk. Also, the rest of the staff and all of the departments at Borough Hall give such great support to our efforts to make Metuchen a great place to live. The borough is fortunate to have a very competent and efficient DPW team currently led by Brian Lewis. They keep the borough in top shape and are very accommodating to residents' needs. Lastly, our police department is second to none, with native son Artie Flaherty in command. We can be proud of all of our police officers and the job they are doing to keep us safe. Metuchen is privileged to have great leaders at the helm. Jonathan Bush is a force to be reckoned with, as he has taken the borough to new heights through his innovative ideas and promotion of borough activities and accomplishments. Our council president, Jason Delia, is an advocate for pedestrian safety and has had a hand in passing pedestrian safety laws in conjunction with our 18th legislative district officials. Our historic district designation in Metuchen is due mostly to the efforts of Tyler Candell and the History Advisory Committee. We have Joel Branch to thank for all the wonderful social and cultural programs promoted by the Human Relations Commission to bring inclusivity to all Metuchenites. Our library is in good hands with Vanita Jethwani, working with the library board to make improvements to both programming and infrastructure, as the borough has future plans to improve use of space there. Finally, Lisa Hyman has made an impact on families with loved ones in need of mental health and drug addiction support as liaison to the CARES Committee. And really, finally, I would like to thank my husband, Alex, who supported me in all of the time and effort needed to perform my duties, and to my sons, Roman and James, who literally left me alone so I could always be available to my residents. And I just have to say, I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you, whoever is out there.
Dorothy, stay up there. I'm going to invite the council members to the front with you and for a picture.
Now I need my water. Can I have my water? Of course. No, I don't need it.
Going up?
Come on, Dorothy.
That was a lot. I could think of 3 hours telling stories. Save that for another day. Short people in front. Have to look at Alex. You get it?
You take it, I want to go home, but I don't
We'll take a picture in front of the tree on the way out.
Okay. Thank you so much. You guys have no idea that that song was my high school graduation song.
Maybe someone did, I didn't.
I got a lot of looks to take home today.
No.
That's why you brought the big look. Yeah. Up there. All right, back to business.
All right, back to business. We are going to move on to public comment. Anyone who's wishing to address the council, just give your name and address for the record, please. And anyone who's looking to join us at the Metuchen Inn for an informal social after this meeting is over, feel free to join us. We'll be there having a drink or two.
Where are we going?
We're going to Metuchen Inn.
Okay.
But not yet. We got some work to do first. Okay. Anybody looking to address the council, give your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Walter Zalman. I've been in Metuchen since June 7th, 1974. And I come to address the council on a couple things. First of all, to congratulate Dorothy. We've been neighbors for...
30-ish years?
Since she's been in town. Okay, so I know Dorothy very well, but one of the big reasons I'm here is because of my concerns with the approval of Arnold Brothers as redevelopment in the area around us. It was approved. There's a notice about it. And my concern is that there's two buildings that are supposedly in the process of being approved, and there's no dimensions, and there's no idea where exactly they are located. And being the commander of the American Legion, longer than Dorothy has been a councilwoman, I am concerned about what the effects on the property and the organization as a nonprofit organization, okay, and all the things that we do. In fact, just to give you an idea, today I've been notified by Mendham, New Jersey High School that they want me to come up there and speak and to give me a donation to the American Legion, okay? So it's not that the American Legion doesn't do things around, it's, you know, we do a lot. As a reminder, I have a shirt here from our old building, and this would have been 10 years, and if I had agreed to a lease, would that lease have been renewed this year, this October? Well, I didn't agree to go with a lease. I fought with the lawyers to make sure that we had a deed. We turned over a deed from 1932, and we got the deed for 2015. There were a lot of changes to the property, but my concern is the infrastructure around the property, seeing we are down where all the water comes to, Halsey Street parking lot, from Main Street, from Amboy Avenue, from the railroad, and from Halsey Street. All the water comes downhill. And I'm also concerned about the sewage plant in town. I don't need an alarm clock. I live on Center Street. I wake up every morning when they turn on the sewer plant to pump sewage out of town here. I could hear it whining. I don't need an alarm clock. And my concern is the amount of sewage that will come from any new development, and the fact that sewage has always been a problem in this town since I moved into this town. And my concern is, are the pipes big enough that are on the ground? Have they been cleaned? And those are my concerns. But my biggest concern is the fact that this nonprofit organization, the American Legion, that was in Metuchen since 1919, okay? And some of the famous people, the famous person that took care of shipbuilding during World War II was actually a member of the American Legion from Metuchen here. And he took over in 1941 when December 7th happened. He resigned to become the authority to build all the shipping during World War II for the United States of America. So there's a lot of history, and I want to make sure that history never dies. Thank you very much. Again, Dorothy, congratulations.
Thank you, Walter.
All righty.
And I appreciate, Walter, your remarks, and obviously, we have had many conversations about this, including a few weeks ago, you and I sat down in the Legion and talked about, you know, my concern to make sure that nothing happens to the Legion. All right, I'm going to say it again. Said it publicly probably 3 or 4 times. I've said it in front of the Legion members. I know 1 or 2 of them are here now. I've said it from this dais. I've said it, I think, during a planning board meeting before where you were here. We are committed to the Legion, supporting the Legion, and doing whatever we can to ensure that the Legion thrives. For as long as I'm the mayor, I can't speak for these council members, but I can tell you that nobody here wants anything but to help strengthen and continue to support the Legion. I know what happened to the old Legion location is something that's on your mind. You referred to it, the T-shirt that you presented. We know that. That's in the past. I wasn't the mayor, but it's something that you need to know. We support the Legion, we support strengthening the Legion, and we support the continued ability to operate and to add to whatever activities that you have and support that. The agreement that you're referring to is a memorandum of understanding that was adopted at the last meeting. There's no commitment for any building or structures at this very moment. There are tentative plans by private property owners that are in that area where the Legion now sits. the Legion's comments, concerns. You raised issues about water, about sewage, about anything that you run off, anything that you could potentially be concerned about, we're also concerned about. I know, again, there may be a lack of trust from years ago, but understand that, as I'm saying this publicly, we are concerned about supporting the Legion. And so you and I, in particular, will continue to have a dialogue on this, okay? And I will continue to come to meetings as you ask me to come. If I can make those meetings, you know I'll be there. And we'll do our best to work together as, for whatever comes next. Okay? Thank you very much. Any other members of the public looking to comment? Hi. Just name and address for the record, please.
Hi, nice to meet you all. My name is Michelle Lagoff. I'm a resident of 20 McCoy Avenue, Metuchen, since 1992. I have been attending the Historic Preservation Committee meetings for the past 18 months, approximately, raising an issue of serious concern that I have with respect to historic preservation of significant structures in the borough of Metuchen. The impetus for my engagement on a more proactive level was the demolished property of historic nature, 31 Woodbridge Avenue. So this property was leveled about a year ago, and it was taken down right before the holidays with no notification to the neighbors, except when the bulldozers came in and they took down a 150-year-old historic property. So this was a red flag that this is an issue that somebody needed to pay attention to. So I started attending Historic Preservation Committee, understanding that the initial mission of the committee was to try to facilitate an ordinance for the protection of historic structures in Metuchen. They had been working diligently for years, including working with the state of New Jersey on a very long list of properties that are significant structures in the borough of Metuchen that are endangered of knockdown. So these were surveyed a number of years ago, and that committee petitioned the council to resurvey because unfortunately some of these structures were knocked down into condos over the years. So I shared this also with Tyler Candell at one of the meetings. So that's available for the council for review. And I have concerns that the draft ordinance from 2 years ago, December 2023, December the 1st, 2023, was apparently killed by the council. And this had been worked on for a very long time. I discussed it with Vanita and also with Tyler. Where are we at with protecting historic buildings in Metuchen? Which leads us to the current conversation, which is the plan for Main Street and Amboy Avenue, which concerns me because some of the historic properties on this lot, on this property, some of those buildings are on the significant list from the state of New Jersey. The state of New Jersey has compiled this list, but the borough of Metuchen has not protected this list because they have not indemnified this draft ordinance. Instead, what has happened, the committee was disenfranchised and it was recalibrated into a history advisory committee. So I would like the council to know that the public has their eye on these issues and we're still interested in preservation of historic structures. Forgetting about the major project that was done, everybody in the town appreciates what was done in the Wildwood area, but that section of town does not encompass the entire borough of Metuchen. These are the properties
I'm sorry,
that...
I'm sorry to interrupt, I just want to make sure I got
Go
what you
ahead.
just said right. What was the last sentence you said? In what section you were referring to? I appreciate what happened in what section?
There's a historic district which
Oh,
was...
the Woodwild section, you're saying.
Woodwild,
Got it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
Yeah,
you. I
the
just want to make
Woodwild
sure I had it. Okay,
section
yep.
came
Go ahead.
over, and that's very much appreciated. But these properties include churches, the YMCA, for instance, and other historic properties. And some of these buildings along Amboy Avenue and for this proposed redevelopment project are on this list. So what I'm asking for the council is to take a step back and to look at the legacy and the background that the Metuchen Historic Preservation Committee did. This is a document that should be reviewed. We do not have an ordinance in the Borough of Metuchen to protect historic properties. We all know that. But the concern now is as we go through redevelopment, how many more significant buildings on this proposed property will be knocked down, similar to 31 Woodbridge, that hold the history of the town of Metuchen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Legoff. I appreciate you coming to the meeting. Just a couple things that I just want to explain in response to some of what you said, in particular about the History Committee, which I forget the precise name at this point. Do we know the precise name of the committee now?
History, our currently
Yeah,
History Advisory Committee,
Okay,
which was
yeah.
previously the History.
Historic
Historic
Preservation.
So the in changing the name was never intended to remove preservation as a goal, okay? We did this because we were trying to have a place to also help the borough collect, study its history. So we were trying to expand the purpose of the committee, not just to be about preservation of structures, but also preservation of history, but it was never intended, just so I want to be clear about this to the community, and Ms. Legoff, to you in particular, because you raised it. It was always this, and I consider myself to be someone who studies history and appreciates history, and for me, preservation is essential as much as we can, and I'll explain more what I mean by that. But important to know that it was designed to expand, not limit the role of the committee, and I think the committee members understand that. The second issue is really the state of New Jersey. There are communities that are similar to Metuchen that have historic preservation ordinances. There are also communities similar to Metuchen that do not. And part of the reason for that, as we went through this and went through this and went through this, and perhaps Councilmember Candel, correct me if anything I'm saying is off, but we had many hours-long conversations with the council president over this issue, is that in creating a historic preservation commission, which is different than a historic preservation committee, there are certain statutory responsibilities that require a place like Metuchen to become all or nothing. You can't pick and choose aspects, not that you're doing, I'm saying nobody could pick and choose aspects of a preservation ordinance that we would like. For example, if we could have done that, and perhaps it's something we could talk to our 18th district legislators about to change it statewide, if we could have done that, we would have adopted something long ago. I can assure you of that. But the issue was we were getting a lot of concern. Some of the structures that are on that list, for example, are priceless, precious structures that you hope the people who are responsible for them do the right thing by what you and I would consider the right thing, by preserving and supporting those structures and making sure that they can last another 100 or 150 years, depending on how old they are. But there are other places, just by definition of the year that they were built, that may not have the same, just because they were built a long time ago doesn't necessarily mean that they have the same significance. And there are many homeowners who are very concerned about limitations that would be placed on their ability to affect their private property based on what the state would require of us to be restrictive of their ability to build, renovate, whatever it might be. And so the state has placed an incredible burden on places like ours, where we're trying to hold on to what we have, but we're also trying to be respectful of private property rights and build ability for things to not just demolition, but also just renovation. And that's a very, very hard and complex dynamic, and something that we are paying attention to and trying to figure out. And when we talked about this ordinance, we didn't say, no, we're not doing this ordinance. What we said, as I recall, was that we have our master plan that is now before the community. We actually had a meeting, public meeting at the Edgar Gymnasium a few weeks ago, which was very well attended, by the way. It was really nice to see so many people giving input on so many aspects of the borough. But we did decide to make the historic preservation element a significant factor in the discussion. And the master plan process is a long process, but Ms. Legoff, you and others who might be interested in the types of stuff you're talking about, I would encourage you to complete and I don't know if you were at the Edgar, the survey for the master plan is on our website, and if you for some reason have trouble finding it, email me and I'll make sure you get it, but it is designed to get these exact kinds of thoughts, because we are really trying to get a sense of where people are at on this issue. And other issues, but this is very important to us. I just want you to understand, it's not as simple, not that you're suggesting it is, but for us, it was a deeply complicated matter. We just couldn't get past the restrictions at this time that the state has placed on us. We suggested even pushing the envelope, and then our attorney, sorry to put it on our attorney, suggested that you're going to get sued and you're going to lose if you do what you want to do. And so we had some of those issues as well, but we're balancing it, and still it's active. I just want you to know that. Any other comments or questions for the council? Yes, sir. Just name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, all. My name is Wing Chern Lam. I live at 49 Robbins Place in Metuchen. I'm a very new resident.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am also a disabled vet, and I filed for a property tax exemption in January. It was approved by the resolution in June 2025, after I looked at the records. But what happened after it was approved was that they still took money from me in August, according to the mortgage company. And then I came in person, I talked to finance, and they were kind of not giving me answers and telling me, just hold off, you get the money back eventually and stuff like that. And when I asked what the process was, I wasn't getting any response back. At this time, I paid about $12,000. Haven't gotten any of that back yet. Went in person with my wife this December to ask again, and they were saying that they need to pass a new resolution in order to get me my money back. I'm just wanting to know, I guess, what is the normal process of getting answers and all such?
So the wheels of government do not always, they don't always move as quickly or as easily as people would expect, unfortunately. Part of it is intentional because it's supposed to be deliberative and careful.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with public monies, obviously, they're very careful, and they should be. But obviously, it can be frustrating sometimes for residents like you. By the way, thank you for what branch did you serve?
Army.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your service. There's going to be some follow-up on this, now that you've raised this. I would love it if you could leave your information, please, with our clerk, just your name, phone number, an email address, and we will follow up on your case as soon as tomorrow, as soon as the doors open tomorrow.
I guess my frustration is just, Mayor Bush, is that I did that 3 times at the finance office.
Okay.
Not to be mean, I did email you as well, but that was last week because I was at my wit's end about.
Okay. Did I not respond to your email? I'm
No, you
sorry. I
haven't.
apologize. I'm a little bit
But it's just
backlogged.
I felt like it was the same.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I will make sure that this is followed up on tomorrow morning, okay?
But normally for stuff like this, should I be going to a secretary or someone?
You should be doing exactly what you did, and unfortunately, the system just didn't do right by you. We'll figure it out.
Okay,
And
no problem.
if you could just, I know, and again, I could look for your email now. I don't know if it got caught in my junk mail filter. I'm not sure what the problem is, but I will make sure that you get followed up. Just give your on a piece of paper on the other side of the agenda.
Okay.
You can hand it to our borough clerk who's sitting to your right, okay? And just give your name, email address, and phone number, and we'll
All right.
follow up, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Anyone else in the community looking to address? Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Linda Koskowski, 3 Goodwill Place. I just couldn't let this moment pass without saying thank you to Dorothy. I'm the shopkeeper that she used to stop by and have a glass of wine with. And, because of you, Dorothy, I ran for council. It was over one of those glasses of wine that you persuaded me to throw my hat in the ring. And I'm very grateful that I got to be along for the ride with you for 6 of those years. And this community has no idea what we're about to lose. And so I just wanted to mark the occasion by saying thank you. And I hope you enjoy your retirement because you certainly deserve it.
Thanks, Linda.
Okay, anybody else from the public looking to address the council? Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Mark Flaherty, and I live at 44 New York Avenue. I'm also here out of concern for those Victorian buildings that are now in the Arts District plan. I was a little bit surprised that we didn't get much more advance notice than 3 days to know that that change in the plan was happening. So in the future, I'd like to see more advance notice for bigger issues like this, so that we can have more of a discussion the meeting prior to the one where an ordinance like that gets passed. But for the specifics, are we going to be defending these Victorians? Or what can be said about their future?
Just to be clear, Mr. Flaherty, the matter that I think you're referring to is an MOU. It's a memorandum of understanding between a private property owner and the borough. It gives us the ability to discuss, continue to negotiate. There's no ordinance associated with that, and if there ever were, there'd be plenty of notice as required by statute. This is something that will continue to be discussed, and to the extent that you're describing the Legion, for example, as I committed to Mr. Zhao and have personally and publicly committed to the Legion, we will make sure that they're discussed and incorporated into whatever plan that is ultimately developed there. Any other members of the public looking to address the council?
Beatrice Moskowitz, 279 Middlesex Avenue. First of all, I'm a little surprised about your concerns with that. I do not have a historic home, but I was stopped from taking down, I'm on the corner of Grove and 27, on the white picket fence. And everybody knows the white picket fence. And they knew I was taking it down and were so concerned that I was going to change it, believe it or not, from wood to, what's this stuff, the whole, whatever. I had so much trouble with them, they wouldn't let me change the white picket fence. So the concern, and I really do understand it, I love the way our town looks because of the historic preservation. I'm just surprised that there's been so much negativity that that they would stop me from making a fence change from one product to another, as opposed to worrying about a whole home or neighborhood. So whatever support you would need, I'll be there, again, even with this surprise. I am here, however, to thank Dorothy Rasmussen, John Boy, for her years on the council. It all started years back when Tom Bahala and I believe, sat privately with you regarding that, and we never really told you, but when we left, we said the real strength of this woman is the calm with which she doesn't have an immediate answer, because you know that what she's going to do is find it immediately, properly, let you know everything about the question that you didn't even know yourself. Am I right? And Dorothy, this public has been grateful for all the work that you have done, despite the fact that you made me get up 3 hours ahead of time so that you could get to a particular environmental meeting at the League of Municipalities. I forgave you for that. But the friendship and the hard work is something I will always appreciate.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Beatrice. See, I used Beatrice. I didn't say the other name. Anybody else looking to address the council? Nobody else? Okay. We'll move on with the rest of our meeting.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve Borough Council meeting minutes of November 24th, 2025.
Thanks. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right. I make a motion to approve communications consent agenda items A and B.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Ordinance, public hearing.
Ms. Duban, would you please read ordinance 2025-19 by title only?
Ordinance 2025-19, ordinance amending Chapter 77 of the Code of the Borough of Metuchen entitled Tree Removal and Replacement, clarifying the application fees and creating a tree bank fund dedicated to tree planting and maintenance.
Okay, at this time, we're going to open the public hearing for 2025-19. Anyone looking to address the council on this ordinance, which ironically for Councilmember John Boy's last meeting relates to trees.
Very
We
appropriate.
planned it that way.
Of
Yeah.
course.
But this is something where we're amending based on the statute, which was adopted relatively recently. There's been some guidance, and we want to make sure that we're as reflective of that statute as possible. Anybody from the public looking to address that? No? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing on 2025-19. Council President?
I make a motion to pass ordinance 2025-19 on second reading and published according to law.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call, please. Ms. Zupan?
Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Jamboy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Reports of council members. Anybody looking to move to the Metuchen Inn anytime soon?
I'll just quickly, my report is just shop downtown, support your local businesses.
That's for sure. That's important. Okay. Thank you, Council President. Councilmember Kendall?
I will make this quick. This is a last reminder about the Cookie Walk, which is happening this Sunday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the high school cafeteria. ITAB is still in need of additional bakers. If you've been to the Cookie Walk in the past, the supply starts to run out late morning, around noon. So we're hoping that we can keep the supply up through 1 o'clock, and that only will happen if we get some more bakers. So if you're interested, please go to the Facebook Metuchen Cookie Walk page and sign up to bake. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you very much. Councilmember Jethwani?
Thank you. Just a quick update. The Friends of the Metuchen Library are holding their annual 10 by 10 by 100 gala this Friday, December 10th at 6 o'clock. And this will include the art sale of the pieces that are currently displayed at the library. And a reminder, as we heard, funds that are raised by the Friends are used to support library programs and other enhancements. And just a note that the Library Board of Trustees will have its monthly meeting tomorrow, December 9th at 7 p.m. at the Library Community Room. And just a reminder that the library will be closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, as well as New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Hyman?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'll try to keep it brief. First for the Board of Health, I want to thank Dr. Paul Popek for his many years of service and leadership on the Board of Health. He will be surely missed, and we wish him much happiness in his new life. The CARES Committee, we've been really lucky to be able to have 3 additional Forest Friends programs, which are self-esteem educational programs for kindergarten programs, 1 at Centenary and 2 for the Mawson after-school program. So I want to thank the administration, Kathy, Melissa, and Becky for making sure, and Mary Beth for making sure that all got done before the end of the year. We're really very pleased with that. And I do want to take a minute to thank the Parade Commission, who did a spectacular job with the tree lighting. I want to say these people work so hard for 7 months to put on a parade, and 2 of my 3 years of my tenure, they've been rained out. And it literally made me cry to have it canceled again. But they rallied and they made the tree lighting not just a tree lighting, not a secondary thought. They made it a really spectacular event. They had elves driving Santa and Mrs. Claus in. They had cookies, they had hot cocoa, they had the tinsel tones, they had the Rise Up chorus. I want to thank all those people. I want to especially thank Ellen Regan, Rob Giekrich, Maggie Cook, Kelly Kramer, Bernie Heitzel, Dennis Kane, Terry Cole, Wendy Richards, Dan Granato, Mike Regan for his help, Joe, and his beautiful green Cadillac and his elves, the Tinsel Tones, the Rise Up Chorus, DPW, and of course the Metuchen Police Department. It was really a beautiful, beautiful event. And Sylvia's for providing Mr. and Mrs. Claus with their costumes. I want to remind everybody that our menorah lighting will be just as beautiful an event and help the entire community comes out for our menorah lighting or our Hanukkah lighting on December 17th, approximately 5:30 p.m. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Branch, we're going to leave you for last.
Oh.
Councilmember John Boy.
All right. HRC, World Human Rights Day celebration is Sunday, December 14th at the Metuchen Library. Rec Commission, remember you can still sign up for Santa Calling. Drop off a form that you can find on the Metuchen website under the Recreation and Holiday section. Drop that off by December 17th, and have a good year. Good.
And for your last report, Councilmember John Boy.
Okay, believe it or not, I have a brief report. It's
Really?
yeah.
Not reflective of all those years of service and the reports that have been given therein.
Right. So one of the things I really wanted to mention was the First Presbyterian Food Bank, because this year, I kind of started getting involved in reminding people that, other people in town, like people think we're so affluent, you would be surprised the people that really need food. It's not people that you would think. So with that spirit, I hope that someone on the council will take over reporting every couple of weeks, when we have the meetings, and finding out from Sarah Teddy what items they need at the food bank, and just, get the word out. That's one of the things that I want to say. And I just really appreciate everything that was done today on my behalf. The slideshow with the song that was my high school graduation song, Who Knew? It was just simply amazing. Everybody just said such nice things about me, and I'm glad that I was able to live up to the expectations of a local elected official.
Well, we appreciate you, so thank you. Thank you for your years of service, for sure, and you're not going to be a stranger, we know that.
Oh, no, I won't.
All right, I have no report tonight. Council President, on the consent agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to add a resolution titled Resolution Authorizing an Extension of the Memorandum of Understanding with CHA Partners LLC for Block 145, Lot 78, to the new business consent agenda, and title that as Resolution 2025-299. And with that, I'd like to change Resolution Authorizing Payment of the Bill List from Resolution 2025-299 to Resolution 2025-300.
Okay. It looks like I have that already in here as 299, but I guess it's an updated agenda. Okay,
Yep.
perfect. So is there a motion to
Yes, so
approve?
with that, I would make a motion to approve new business consent agenda, resolutions 2025-285 to 2025-299.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-300, authorizing the payment of the bill list in the amount of $3,145,760.53.
Okay, there's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and at this point, and we'll make,
Councilmember Jambo, would you like to do the honors?
you want to do the second, or you want to do the motion?
I'll do the motion.
All right, let's do the motion. Let's see.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Before we stop Dorothy's last meeting, at the end of this, if the council members and anybody else who wants to can go outside on the way into the Metuchen, and if you're even going, whoever's going is great. Whoever doesn't, can't make it, fine, but we're going to take a picture in front of your tree, okay?
Okay.
All right. There's been a motion. There's been a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hope you can, this is our last meeting of the year. I hope you can join us on January 1st at 3 o'clock for our swearings in and reorganization meeting. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Thank you, Dorothy.
Say, I will be the clerk and you two.